South African Archbishop Desmond Tutu has passed away. The 90-year-old is being remembered as a human rights activist, a Nobel laureate, and a man with enormous compassion for the oppressed. As CNN's David Mackenzie reports, during the struggle against apartheid in South Africa, he was a voice of peace in the midst of violence.
You find your cousin being killed.
When we spoke to late photographer Judah Ngwenya in 2016, he remembered a different time.
We've got funeral each week. People get killed. And then you don't find one person. 5, 6, 7, 8 people. Mass funeral happen.
During the 1980s, the apartheid regime was at war with the black majority. One of its goals, to turn the liberation movement against itself. Neighbors betrayed neighbors, friends became informants. In this maelstrom, a diminutive Anglican bishop was ever present. Desmond Tutu was never afraid to step up to the racist regime, using his bully pulpit of peace. During apartheid, Archbishop Tutu's position in the church gave him a semblance of protection, and his deep faith gave him an unwavering moral compass, even when it was deeply unpopular.
I am not a politician, even if there are those who say so. I speak from the Bible.
The car was standing down there.
For Ngwenya, Tutu's defining moment came at a funeral.
They said, no, we want him. We want to kill him.
Mourners wanted to throw a suspected informer into his burning car, but Tutu saved the man from the mob, saying he should be forgiven, that the struggle should rise above the violence of the state.
Tutu is a man of God that talks the truth. Nothing else but the truth.
But people listen.
People listen to Tutu, no matter what.
And during those dark days, with ANC leadership in jail or exile, Tutu was the voice of the struggle. But after liberation, Tutu's embrace of the ruling ANC was awkward.
You and your government don't represent me.
When the Rainbow Nation faltered, he spoke up on corruption, AIDS policy, diplomacy.
One day, we will start praying for the defeat of the ANC government. You are disgraceful.
He's an equal opportunity irritant.
But Tutu's daughter says now that he's gone, South Africa will lose its conscience.
South Africa will lose a champion and a coach.
Have mercy on your pardon your sins and set you free from them.
She says Tutu always cheered South Africa when it did the right thing and consistently called the country to task when it did not.
That was CNN's David Mackenzie reporting. For more reaction to the death of Archbishop Tutu, I want to bring in CNN correspondent Larry Madowo. Larry, the president of South Africa called Archbishop Tutu a patriot without equal. He obviously played a pivotal role in bringing about an end to apartheid, but that's really only part of his legacy.
Absolutely. He was much more than that. This is an Anglican priest who became one of the leading opponents of white minority rule in South Africa. That's why he won the Nobel Prize, Boris, in 1984, a full decade before apartheid finally fell in South Africa. He was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2009 by President Obama. This speaks to his global reach. This man who, I remember a couple of years ago flying from Johannesburg to Cape Town, and he came on the flight and he got a standing ovation. People were clapping and hollering because of the love they had for this man who spoke from the pulpit but gave very deeply political speeches while insisting that he was not just a politician, he was a priest. This is the current bishop of Cape Town, remembering who Archbishop Desmond Tutu was.
Desmond Tutu's legacy is moral strength, moral courage, and clarity. He felt with the people. In public and alone, he cried because he felt people's pain and he laughed, not just laughed, he cackled with delight when he shared their joy.
Desmond Tutu was often called the Arch, but he had a great sense of humor even when he discussed serious issues. And beyond apartheid in South Africa, he spoke out on major international issues. He was opposed to the Iraq War. He formed Condoleezza Rice to express his opposition to that. He campaigned for LGBTQ rights, which is a controversial topic in South Africa and across the African continent here. He campaigned for Palestinian statehood. He, in later life, was one of the elders, this group of international leaders set up by Nelson Mandela. So he was a man who really did speak out against injustice wherever he saw it around the world. And today there is mourning all across Africa. One of the greatest Africans, one of the most consequential leaders ever to have lived, has fallen. And in South Africa, there will be a lot of people who are sad today because he's one of the last generation of Nelson Mandela, people who fought to make sure that it was a just and equal world, not just in the African continent, Boris, but around the world.
He was a global icon and set an incredible example. Larry Madowo from Kenya, thank you so much.